Good day, dental professionals. Welcome to the Dental Flow podcast. We are dentistry's go-to resource for insights into the business side of dentistry. Your host, Benjamin Suggs, will be helping you navigate through the currents of the ever-changing dental waters. This podcast is packed with innovative practice growth strategies, actionable insights, and expert advice, all tailored to help you elevate your dental practice to the next level. If you're ready to dive in, so are we. Let's get into the flow.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dental Flow podcast. Happy to be with you here today. And today we're going to talk about something that we've noticed in our agency, our dental marketing agency, just recently. And that is the fact that over the last 10 months, we've had 10 dental practice clients who left us at some point in the past come back and be a part of our agency again. So I wanted to talk about that and talk about some of the reasons why they left, but also talk about the reasons why they came back. And I want to preface this by saying, look, this is not going to be a sales pitch for our agency. What it is going to focus more on is some potential yellow/red flags that you as a dental practice owner can look for if you're thinking about making a change in your dental marketing agency. That could be any dental marketing agency that you work out there working with, not necessarily us. But these are things that we saw, and I want to be very transparent about why people left and why they came back. So like I mentioned, we had 10 clients who have left us in the past who've come back in the last 10 months. And when I look at the reasons why those 10 left, it was a pretty even split for two big reasons. So the first reason was they either sold to a DSO, so they sold their practice, and that DSO said, hey, we have our own marketing agency we like to work with, or we have an internal marketing team that we like to work with, or they affiliated themselves with some sort of a mastermind group who also, same thing, said, hey, we have a great marketing agency that we work with that we recommend that you work with as well, and they'll give you a discount for their services. So that is the first group, is people left us either for DSO, selling to a DSO, or affiliating with some kind of a dental organization. The second group is people who just left us, quite honestly, to go work with one of our competitors. They decided that they did not think that what we were doing was what they wanted, or not good enough, or not delivering enough results. So they chose to go work with another agency. Now, I want to talk about that's why they left. So now I want to shift over and talk about the reasons why they came back. I think it's important to go through each one of these because I think that you as a listener, as a dental practice owner, would be able to learn from these potential mistakes, potential issues that you might have switching your marketing agency. So let me start. So interestingly, and this one might surprise a lot of you, but for those people that left to work with a competitive marketing agency, out of the 5 that are on that list, 4 of them did so right after hiring a new office manager. That's not surprising to us because we see that a lot. Whenever a dental practice hires either their first office manager or a new office manager to come in, a lot of time we see that office manager really wants to come in and kind of assert a level of control over all the operations of the practice. They really want to kind of put their mark on it. And so when they come in, some of them, quite honestly, I'm just being very honest here, are almost combative with us as the marketing agency. They come with very hot, like, oh, I want to know exactly what you're doing, how you're doing, and I want all this. And, and some come in very friendly and want to just learn. Let me learn what you guys are doing and we can work together. But they want to come in and they want to assert a level of control. Now, what often happens is that new office manager will have some sort of pre-existing relationship with another dental marketing agency or generalist agency or whatever it is. So because they're comfortable with that agency, they may come in and say, well, that agency did such great work for us. The last practice I worked at, we need to bring them in and have them work for us here. So the problem with that, in my view, is a lot of times they're not judging us based on results. They're just judging us based on the relationship they have with someone else that they're more comfortable with. So however it happens, I will say that those practices that came back to us after leaving us, after hiring an office manager, leaving us to go to another agency, came back to us without that office manager working there anymore. And I'm not saying that happens every time, but that seems to be a trend. So the office manager comes in, they make a bunch of changes. Maybe they last a year or two and then they're gone. And the dentist is kind of looking around saying, okay, well, what really has changed for the better in this agency relationship that we have? So that's one thing that happens a good bit. I've seen crazy stuff, guys. We were working with a dentist. We were getting that dentist a 27x return on investment, meaning that dentist, for every dollar he spent with us and his ads and his marketing, he was getting $27 in return. That's phenomenal ROI, phenomenal ROI. And that happened to us. He hired a new office manager. The office manager came in and for whatever reason decided she just didn't like working with us. She wanted to work with someone else. So that's what happened. We got fired, and I'm not really in touch with that practice anymore, but I'm guaranteeing you they're not getting a 27x return on their investment with whoever they're with. So sometimes it's a situation of just ignoring the numbers and going with feelings. So I say that as a potential red flag. If you're hiring a new office manager and they want to come in and make sweeping changes to your existing vendors and relationships, I would just say, hey, let's pump the brakes a little bit and then let's look at some data. Like, let's look at what, if it's working, why break it and start over? That's my recommendation on that one. The second big reason that we had clients coming back to us after leaving was when they did work with this new agency, they felt that the agency very much overpromised results and then underdelivered. And in almost every case, it has to do with the case of a salesperson. So what I mean by that is, for example, in my agency that I own, we are not super large. So we don't service 1,000 clients or anything crazy like that. So I generally am the salesperson for our agency. I don't mind doing it. I like talking and meeting to doctors. And honestly, this is going to make me sound self-serving, but I like, even if I can't work with a dentist, if they can't afford our services or they can't, and we're not the right fit for them right now, I like just getting on the phone and give them some advice and give them some help. Like, here's some ideas for you, things that will help you. So I like doing that process. So I do it myself. But a lot of bigger agencies, they have a sales team, they have an account management team, they have a development team. So the salespeople are out there earning commission and they're trying to make every possible sale they can. Their time is money on the phone, or however it's happening, video, whatever. So they're out there trying to make as many sales as possible. So what tends to happen a lot is that what the salesperson is promising to get the sale is not actually what the executional implementation team in the agency can deliver. And that happens a lot. I've worked in a lot of different organizations prior to doing this agency, and we see that a lot. It's often a friction between what salespeople promise and what the team internally can actually deliver. And there's a reason. Salespeople want to get paid. They want to make money. They want to earn. So they're out there trying to do what they can to get the sale. And so sometimes that means they're going to overpromise results and then underdeliver as an agency. So that was the second big one. And I would just, when you're talking to a potentially new marketing agency, to a salesperson, ask them about the structure of their agency. Like, how connected, when you sign on the dotted line, is your relationship with that salesperson done and you move on to someone else? Is there going to be any accountability about what they said that you would do versus what the next person's going to say they can do? So keep that in mind as you're looking at a potentially new agency. The third big one is, quite frankly, that results were just not there. So that's a common thing we hear from clients saying, and even the ones that left for DSO or another affiliation coming back and saying, I've just never really gotten as many new patients as I got when I worked with you guys. And that could have been years that they left us 2-3 years ago. And they've had a 3-year gap of not getting the same results that they used to get. So the challenge I have with that is something we call opportunity cost. So if, let's say that you're working with us and you're getting 30 new patients per month consistently, then you move, you get bought or you affiliate with a new mastermind group or whatever, you move to a new agency and now you're getting 20 new patients per month. So think about that. For a 2-3 year period, that's 10 new patients a month that you were not getting. That was not revenue production in your practice. You were not building, because as you know, every time you get one new patient, you can turn that into 2 or 3 new patients through referrals. So think about all that opportunity cost that is lost because the same results are just not there. So that's another big thing. Personally, in our agency, we never would guarantee a result. We guarantee the work that we're going to do to achieve a result, but we never say absolutely you'll get this many new patients guaranteed. So if an agency is telling you that they're going to get phenomenal results, you can ask them to back it up. You can ask them for proof. You can ask them for case studies. But that is a common reason that people come back to us, that they say that the results that they were promised just were not there. All right. The fourth reason, and this one is probably a little different than things you've heard before, but another thing we hear from these clients returning is that the other agency just required too much of their time. The other agency would tell them like, "Hey, if the results aren't there, it's your fault. It's not our fault. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. You're not doing, posting. You're not doing all this stuff." And that is a big thing, because one of the things in my agency that we focus on, because I know dentists have, your time is very valuable and limited. You've got very little time in the day left over to meet with marketing agencies. So one of the things we really try to focus on is, we say we do all the heavy lifting for you. We require very little time commitment and very little resource from our clients. We try to do all the work that we can do to free up your time to do what you do best, which is dentistry. But what I hear a lot is them saying like, well, these other companies, man, they just wanted to meet with us once a week, and they wanted us to constantly be doing all this stuff for them. The stuff that we had to do, they weren't going to do it for us. They wanted us to tell them what to write down on this website or to add to this page. I get it. Asking for to pay an agency to come in and have these massive time requirements of your time doesn't make sense to me. That's why I pay people to do things. We just bought my son a new bed the other day. I could put that thing together and assemble it myself, but why would I want to spend 4 hours of my time doing that? I'll pay somebody, let them, they know what they're doing. They can do it in an hour or two. And then I get 4 hours of my time back. So a lot of the time, you're not just buying marketing, you're buying time. You're buying your time back. So if an agency is going to require you to have constant meetings, constant interaction with them all the time, think about how that's going to wear you out over time. With our clients, we always just say, look, as much as you want to be talking to us, that's how much we'll do it. I have some clients, I talk to them once every couple of years. They've been clients for over a decade. I have some clients that text me at least once a week, and we have a conversation. Totally fine. Either way, whatever makes them more comfortable is what we want to do. But we never try to say we require this many meetings per month from our clients. That's just not something we do. The fifth reason why clients come back to us after leaving us for another agency is they tell us that they really just felt like there was very little continuity in the relationships they had. And what I mean by that is that these agencies were hiring young account managers to manage their account. But one of the challenges when you have young account managers in their early 20s is that there's going to be a lot of movement in jobs. They're going to find other jobs that pay them a little bit more money per hour, and they're going to go over there versus here. It happens all the time. I'm sure you, as a dentist, you experience this yourself in your practice. You hire someone at the front desk, they get paid, someone or assistant, someone else offers them $2 extra an hour, and they're gone. So it happens in the dental marketing agencies as well. So one of the things that our clients complain about is that the agency they went to, they were assigned an account manager. However, that account manager kept changing. So every couple of months, they were being told, you have to meet with this account manager to be successful. But when they would get on that call, the account manager was a different person now. There was a constant turnover, and there was no continuity in strategy. So like basically every new account manager would come in, it was almost like starting from scratch. And a lot of the doctors tell me like, well, the problem is we have to tell them what we're doing. We have to explain to our account manager what our strategy is and what we've been doing over the last few months. Personally, on our agency, we don't expect the clients to have to know that stuff. They're so busy with so many other things. When we talk to our clients, we're the ones that remind them, oh yeah, remember last month we decided together that we were going to go after more implants, or, less general dentistry, more implants. That's why we did that change. So we try to be the central knowledge base for all things marketing. And to do that, we try to have continuity by having the same people interacting with our clients. And the way we've done that is built a model where I still have meetings with our clients as the owner of the company. I'm going to continue doing that until the day that it's just non-sustainable time-wise. Now, we have a support team behind me that does a lot of the work that I do talk about in those meetings, but I think it's very important, and I think our clients appreciate it, that there is a relationship that's a constant in that agency that they can rely on. They can rely on, all right, let me talk to Ben and find out what we need to do to change that number or get that number up. And we could talk about our strategy over time because we've been working on it together for some time. So that about wraps it up. Those are the things that we learned from having 10 clients who left us in the past come back to our dental marketing agency in the last 10 months. So hopefully that was helpful for you. Hopefully you didn't see that as a sales pitch for us. I didn't intend that to be that way. I'm hoping you'll be able to take something away from it. And especially if you're going to be going through this process of potentially replacing your current agency, that you'll be able to keep some of those things in mind and think about them as you go through that process. So again, have a great one. Keep being a dental superstar. And I look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us for this Dental Flow podcast episode. If you enjoyed today's discussion and wish to stay updated on future episodes, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with colleagues and friends. For more insights and discussions on dental marketing, we encourage you to continue riding the Dental Flow wave and tune into the next episode. Keep on smiling, learning, and flowing with the Dental Flow podcast.